America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, let's set the record straight on this whole garbage thing, this whole garbage fiasco. Let's set the record straight 6 days out from this election. And I want to start with this. I want to make this point at the fucking top. By far, the greatest purveyor of hate and fear and division in this country right now, in American politics right now, is Donald Trump, by far. And there isn't even a second place. It's Trump. Nobody in this country spreads more hate than Donald Trump. Every word out of his mouth is either hate or fear or division. Let's start there. Before we get into what Biden said, before we get into this whole garbage truck fiasco, start there with a truth. And I know we live in a time where the truth doesn't matter. Donald Trump's greatest legacy is the destruction of truth, but the truth always matters to me, and the truth ought to matter to everybody. And the truth is this: every single word out of Donald Trump's mouth is hate-based or fear-based or to cause division. Nobody hates on people more than Donald Trump. And I'm looking at you, MAGA. I'm looking at you, Trump supporters, all of you crying foul and whining about what Joe Biden might have said the other day. You got no fucking room to whine or cry or complain about anything that Joe Biden might have said. No, you don't. Because MAGA, you've embraced a guy who lies every time he opens his mouth. You've embraced a guy, MAGA, who spreads hate and fear every single time he opens his mouth. MAGA, you've embraced a guy who has made hate and fear and division his campaign. You've embraced a guy who's trying to scare people into voting for him. So don't you dare complain about anything Joe Biden might have said. Second thing, look, Joe Biden the other day, did he say that Trump supporters are garbage? I've listened to it now 13, 14 times. I don't know what exactly Joe Biden said. He could have said all Trump supporters are garbage. He could have said, no, the garbage is what I heard at Madison Square Garden. He could have said that one Trump supporter's garbage that he let out the other day at Madison Square Garden, calling Puerto Rico a garbage, a land of garbage. It's unclear what Joe Biden meant to say. And yeah, that's a problem, because Joe Biden cannot communicate coherently. That's a problem. And because of that, Joe Biden shouldn't be speaking at all. My God. It's not the first gaffe that Biden's had in the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, Biden accidentally said Trump needs to be locked up, and then he caught himself and said, no, I meant figuratively, whatever. The point is, Biden can't speak. Biden can't communicate. So that means Biden shouldn't be speaking. And he never, ever, ever should have said anything 2 days ago. But I don't believe, because it's not Biden's thing. It's not Biden's history. Look, when Hillary back in 2016 said the whole basket of deplorables, that was Hillary, right? Hillary was not the most, might have made a pretty good president. She was not the most adept politician, the most adept candidate. She stepped in it. She called Trump supporters deplorables, and I condemned it at the time. That's not Biden's history. He does not have a history of saying divisive things like that. So I don't believe, as I listened to it, that Biden meant to say that all Trump supporters are garbage. I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant that one comedian, that Trump supporting comedian who spewed a bunch of garbage at Madison Square Garden. I think he meant to say any and all of those speakers at Madison Square Garden were spreading garbage. That to me seems much more likely. And in general, America, this Thursday, 6 days before the election, in general, when somebody misspeaks and you don't quite know what they meant, how about a little grace? How about giving them a little grace, right? How about giving them the benefit that they didn't mean the horrible thing, like all Trump supporters? What they really meant was that. I'm going to give Biden that grace because I think it's the right thing to do. And I'm going to give Biden that grace because that's not Biden's history. And no, I'll never, ever, ever give Trump any fucking grace because this is Trump's history. Because again, a guy like Trump, who every single word out of his mouth is meant to divide, who hates on everybody, Trump doesn't deserve any grace. And he'll never get any from me. Trump supporters will get grace from me all the time. No, Biden didn't mean Trump supporters are garbage. He stepped in it. He gave Trump a big old gift, but Biden didn't mean it. But bad on Biden for even speaking. He can't communicate worth a damn anymore. He shouldn't be speaking. Kamala Harris has done nothing but be gracious toward Trump supporters from day one, from the moment she got into this race. Kamala Harris has done nothing but say, I want to be president for all Americans. Kamala Harris, since she got into this race, has done nothing but say what she said yesterday when she was asked about what Biden said. And Kamala Harris said, look, Joe Biden clarified what he meant, but here's what I think. The people who disagree with me are not evil, are not bad, are not garbage. People who disagree with me, I like and I respect. That's been the note that Kamala Harris has touched and put out there every single day since she's been the nominee. Kamala Harris has been nothing but all about ending the hate, ending the divide, trying to find common ground, trying to be inclusive. In every speech she's uttered. She said it again the other night at the Ellipse, that great speech she had in Washington, D.C. the other night. She said it all again. She said it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to be at each other's throats. We don't have to be so hateful. We don't have to be so divided. Things don't have to be so chaotic. We don't have to have all of this mutual disrespect for each other. It doesn't have to be this way. She talked again the other night about the people who disagree with her and how she looks up to them and respects them and always wants to engage with them. And she said the other night again, she said, unlike Donald Trump, Kamala Harris said, unlike Donald Trump, I do not consider the people who disagree with me to be the enemy from within, to be my enemy. So no, MAGA again, no Trump supporters. Joe Biden isn't the nominee. Kamala Harris is. Kamala Harris doesn't believe anybody in this country is garbage. You're running against Kamala Harris, MAGA and Trump, as much as you'd like to be still running against Joe Biden. Kamala Harris has been the antithesis of Donald Trump. She has been the antithesis of hate. So you can't put this on her. Kamala Harris has done nothing but appeal to the better angels. See, there's the difference and there's the distinction. This whole garbage thing, this whole garbage scandal. By the way, Trump was the first one that Trump brought garbage into it, this whole thing. He was the first one to bring the whole garbage into this. Trump is the one who's called his political opponents garbage. Remember that. And remember this. These two candidates are so very different. To win, Kamala Harris is trying to appeal to our better angels, the good in us. We all have good and we all have bad in us. Kamala Harris is appealing to the good in everything she's said. She wants to bring people together. She wants to be inclusive. She wants this country to end this divide and try to unite. She's appealing to the best of us. Trump, the opposite of that. Donald Trump is appealing to the ugliest in us, the worst in us, our primal fears. Donald Trump is appealing to our bigotries. He's appealing to the racist in us. He's appealing to our fears. Trump is the one who called the people who disagree with him the enemy within. Trump is the one who called his political opponents evil. Trump is the one who called his political opponents garbage. Every word uttered at Madison Square Garden the other night was divisive and hateful, calling Kamala Harris the Antichrist, calling Puerto Rico a big garbage dump, and all the other racist and bigoted and fearful crap that was spewed. That's all on Donald Trump. That's what Trump is. That's what Trumpism is. Donald Trump is the one who said, I will put the military on my political opponents. Donald Trump is the one who said, I will put my political opponents in jail. And just yesterday, Trump said it again. They're horrible people. My political opponents are horrible people. So to set the record straight, Biden never should have been speaking. Biden stepped in it. Biden didn't mean, and he wasn't referring to Trump supporters, but he stepped in it. So, of course, MAGA and Trump is going to run with it. But Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee, and Kamala Harris has been the antithesis of hate and division. Donald Trump's whole being is hate and division. Every word out of his mouth is about hate, is about dividing. He's been the greatest spreader of hate in our politics for the past 8 to 9 years. So Trump has no leg to stand on, and he's got no right to complain or whine or cry about what anything Biden might have said. And Trump supporters, the same goes for you. You embrace him, you support him eagerly. You eagerly embrace the guy who said he wants to put the military on his political opponents. You, MAGA, eagerly embrace the guy who said anybody who doesn't vote for him is the enemy. Is the enemy. Your crocodile tears, MAGA, get lost with them. And to the rest of America, it's clear. The choice here is clear. One candidate, Kamala Harris, trying to bring this country together. One candidate, Kamala Harris, appealing to the good in us. The other candidate, Donald Trump, doing nothing but trying to divide us. He believes that the division is the way he wins. One candidate, Donald Trump, appealing to the ugly in us, appealing to our fears, our worries, our ugliness, me included. We all have this in us. What does that say? Right? We all got good and bad and everything mixed up in us. And one candidate is reaching inside us to tap that good, to try to bring out that good. The other candidate is reaching inside of us and grabbing the bad and shaking it up, trying to inflame the bad. We know what that says about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It will say a lot about us come Tuesday, when we have to choose. Are we going to be led by fear, or are we going to be led by hope? Are we going to be led by, I'll end with this, Keith, I'll end with this. Are we going to be led by a candidate who called America a garbage can? Are we going to choose a candidate who called America a garbage can? Or are we going to choose a candidate who, like Ronald Reagan, called America the shining city on a hill? Seems pretty clear, the choice, the contrast. Kamala Harris believes America, like Ronald Reagan believed America, is a shining city on a hill. Donald Trump believes America is a garbage can. Hey, American voter, you choose. Shining city on a hill or a garbage can? I know what I'm choosing. Thanks for listening. Keep going this week. Keep going. 6 days to go. Thanks, everybody. Be brave.
Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.